Toy Story 5 is a huge hit at the box office. There's no doubt about that. Even though Woody and Buzz aren't largely missing, and it's another boy brand turned girl boss adventure, fans are still showing up in droves at cinemas just as predicted here, all over the world. But what if I told you that the media is misleading yet again? You see, folks, no, Toy Story 5 is not the biggest film in the franchise in terms of tickets sold. We'll explain on the other side. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, and happy Father's Day yet again. What a pleasure to endeavor explaining what's really going on in Hollywood together. Let's get at it. Click that like button, and let's dive in. No, folks, I am not here to be Mr. Negativo when it comes to Toy Story. It's doing fine. It's doing great. It's doing grand. And it's going to make Disney a whole lot of money, a whole lot of cash, just like we told you it would. I told you this would break $1 billion. But what if I told you that's now in question? The media is praising this thing, and I give it a 7 out of 10. It's fine if you recognize it's a girl movie. It is. It's a girl movie. Paul Chatto loves it. We love Paul Chatto. It's a girl's movie, okay? No, Paul's not a girl, though. At least not last I heard about it. But it's a girl's movie. It's about Jessie. There's no Woody and Buzz. They're gone. They're like in 20% of the film. The whole thing is about girls and social media. But listen, I'm not here to rag on it. I'm really not. In fact, I believe that coming up this week, Disney is likely to greenlight not just one, but 2 sequels to this. Toy Stories 6 and 7. Can I have some details on that? Gonna tell you about it. Hang tight. But let's go through Variety right now and the rest of the trades. Box office, Toy Story 5 scores year's biggest debut with $160 million, shattering the franchise opening weekend record. Sounds like Toy Story is growing, right? Hang tight. It's not. I'm going to prove it to you. You'll know it. You can tell all your friends about it. They'll tell you you're negative, but it's okay. You're just honest that way, just like your pal Pro, okay? But Toy Story is doing great. Rebecca Rubin reporting this. What I'm trying to say here, though, is it's going to matter how the second weekend does, because this movie is actually underperforming where they expected, and I'm not going to let them get away with pretending it's not. I'm also not going to pretend that the film is failing in some way. It's not. But there are signs of danger, and we'll go through those. Kids these days might prefer Tech-Two toys. Oh, Tech-Two toys. Well, how about that? English, eh? Kids these days might prefer Tech-Two toys, but Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and Jessie still got it. Toy Story 5 ruled over the box office with $160 from 4,425 North American theaters. I think that might be the largest rollout I've ever seen, landing on the higher end of expectations. Oh, really? While securing the biggest domestic debut of the year over Universal's Super Mario Galaxy movie. The animated sequel also ranks as the largest start in Disney and Pixar's beloved Toy Story franchise. Not adjusted for inflation. Well, now, why would they not want to adjust for inflation? Hang on a second. Deadline is reporting sort of the same thing. Anthony D'Alessandro. Toy Story 5 has a best friend at the box office, $160 million U.S. opening, reps record for the franchise, best year to date. Everybody's happy. Everybody's excited. I'm excited too, okay? Go Toy Story, go. It's amazing how much people love Woody and Buzz. I don't think they were going to see a Jessie movie. We'll see. Second weekend. Remember, it matters. But I want to remind you that they might be lying to you. Not our good friends. Not D'Alessandro. No. But let's just say they have selective memory. Empire City Box Office was saying this back on May 30th, and this is like Box Office Pro and Box Office Theory, and you know, all these analysts, right? It's got 20,000 views, 500 likes, essentially. And it says, not only is IP not dead, it's about to completely dominate the summer. Toy Story 5 is going to open to 175 million plus. Yet another Spider-Man movie is going to destroy Minions, Evil Dead, Burn, Moana, Overreaction, blah, 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 blah. Okay? It didn't open to 175 million plus. By the way, there are all kinds of tweets if you want to go back in time. And there's all kinds of articles out there talking about, Toy Story 5 is going to beat The Incredibles. It's going to top 180. Now, I'm not here to rain on the parade. I promise I'm not. I'm going to explain why in just a second. But you need to know this, and this is where I'm going with this. This is what I'm doing with the video. I want you to know the truth. I want you to understand what's going on in Hollywood, because they don't tell you this, and you need to know it. ThatParkPlace.com, this is my article just released before the video comes out. Toy Story 5 is not the best performing film in the franchise, despite media reports. And I just showed you the media reports, okay? It says, get ready for a story you're unlikely to hear anywhere else. While most major publications are singing the praises of Toy Story 5, which they certainly should from a business standpoint, there's a bigger story here that is just as important. It turns out the fifth film in the franchise is the second in a row to miss the number of tickets sold in a domestic opening weekend. That signals that all of the record-breaking headlines are actually just reporting on movie ticket prices rising dramatically and hoping you won't notice they're silent on actual number of butts in seats. With Toy Story arriving to a reported $160 million domestic opening weekend, the obvious headline is that Pixar has just delivered the biggest raw opening weekend in the history of the franchise. But raw dollars can be deceptive. $1 in 1995, 1999, 2010, or even 2019 bought much more than $1 does in 2026. When the opening weekends for all 5 mainline Toy Story films are adjusted for inflation, the franchise becomes far more interesting. At least the race for the top. The top, ladies and gentlemen, the most tickets sold for a film on domestic opening weekend, and we don't do the worldwide because it gets really complicated with currency exchange rates and all that sort of stuff. So we don't do that. We're just going to stick with domestic because that's an apples to apples. Toy Story 3, adjusted for inflation, beats it. $167.4 million. That means more people went to go see Toy Story 3 than Toy Story 5. Now, what does that mean? Okay, because now, well, that's a different headline, right? And there it is staring at you right in the face. The statistics cannot be manipulated here. Except I will say that we're adjusting for inflation using the CPI, going in the weeds here. If we were to adjust for the actual movie ticket average cost, because of PLFs now, premium large format theaters, Toy Story 3 actually beats it by more. But we're being as fair as we can to Disney. What this means is that this franchise is stagnant. Now, it's dominant. People love Woody and Buzz. It's dominant. But this franchise is stagnant in terms of growth. That's better than losing. And when you're at the top, it's good. It's okay to stagnate at the top, I suppose, especially if it's over decades. But here's the trouble. Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, every single film showed growth. 4 and 5 have not. And the media don't want you to know that, but I'm telling you that. Because what has happened, I believe, is that they have changed the characters of Woody and Buzz. They have relegated them to being either different than who they were before, or in this movie, they're in the back. They're in the back seat. They're like 20% of the film is about them, and they're very minuscule in what it is they're trying to do. This is Jesse's story. All of Andy's toys are just in a box. You know, I think Ham. By the way, thank you to John Ratzenberger, who allowed me to get to hang out, and he was so kind with his time and chatted with so many of our friends at ICC Con. What a great guy. But he's got one line in the whole movie. Ham, the piggy bank, has one line. Rex might have 3. Mr. Potato Head has 3. And none of them have anything to do with the story. Here, get in the cameo quip. And I think audiences don't like that. And that's why the second weekend becomes so important here. That's why what we need to pay attention to is the second weekend, because the worldwide box office now, by the way, the international is underperforming the domestic. That's not a good sign. But the numbers here are so big, it's okay. I don't want to be pessimistic or negative. I'm just telling you the truth. 312, here's what we want to see. If this legs out to 3x, what that would indicate is probably audiences don't appreciate Woody and Buzz being relegated, and they don't like a boy brand being switched to a girl brand. I don't see this film performing less than 3x. If it does, look out. We are definitely going to be paying attention to that. We'll talk about it. But at a 3x, this thing lands at what? 936? Yeah, 936 is where this lands. Now, this film needs to break $1 billion. It needs to break $1 billion because it's expected to break $1 billion. If Toy Story can't break $1 billion, whoa, Nelly. Okay. The thing we're paying attention to, who's going to go see this? Right? The people who wanted nostalgia, they've gone. They've saw it. And they're telling their friends what it is, right? Now, if this becomes a girls' anthem film, which we don't know yet, we don't have the demographics yet. I wish we had the demos. We don't have the demographic data yet. If this turns into a girls' anthem film, if girls embrace this, if women embrace Jessie and the Taylor Swift song and all that stuff, if they embrace this and turn this into Inside Out 2, then the sky is the limit. If, however, audiences go and say, where's Woody and Buzz? This is not what I wanted. I want Woody and Buzz. I want Andy's toys. If that's what happens, then this may fail to break $1 billion. And so we're waiting to see. Because Inside Out was always feminine in nature. And these other films that have done this sort of thing have been feminine in nature. Toy Story has been at least mostly, I would say, masculine. Andy with his toys, and they tried it with 4 to make it be about Bonnie, but it's really not about Bonnie, hardly at all. I mean, it's really not. That said, I'm expecting a green light on 2 new Toy Story sequels, and I think they're going to be in a race to get those out. I'm going to have details on that this week. Hang tight, we'll get there. This is definitely a win the first weekend for Disney, but do not doubt for a moment. They know this has failed for the second time in a row to eclipse Toy Story 3, which means the franchise is not growing, and they're paying attention to the same thing we're paying attention to, the same thing now that you're paying attention to. Does this turn into something that girls get behind? Or are people frustrated that, hey, where are my main characters? What is this exactly? Why are we not with Andy anymore? Who's this Bonnie girl? And why are Woody and Buzz hardly in the film? That's why I'm here, to see Woody and Buzz, gosh darn it. All right. It's a big win for Disney. We told you it would be a big win. And I still anticipate, I just, if it doesn't break $1 billion, that would be amazing. But we're all watching now. We're all paying attention. Can it break the $1 billion? It's a big question mark. 3X doesn't get it there. And remember, they're claiming now that this is, at the higher end of expectations. I just showed you. It's really not. They thought 180. We're at 160. So, how do we leg out? We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for your Pal Pro, though. Got one more video coming out later tonight, and then we're off to the races on Monday. Boy, oh boy. So fun getting to do what we do. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. And I think this stuff matters. I think this stuff really, really matters. Toy Story is a franchise that connects with people deeply. They've made a major switch with this film. We're going to find out. How do audiences react, and how swiftly does the market react? How does word of mouth carry on this? It's going to be fascinating to see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you real soon. In the meantime, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, you know the line, keep having fun.
No, hey Florel, what you doing? Thinking about Rome?
No, I wasn't. But thanks. Now I lost the game.
Dang it. Now I lost the game. No. Well, now you're a double loser.
Hey guys, you know what would help you in your grief? Forgetting those things and filling your mind with articles from thatpartplace.com and using that website as a launching pad to get you lost in thought with all of the team from there.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Flora, would you look down here?
I hate you.